Welcome to Fic of the Week. I'm Random Heary. Here today we have a very special guest, and it's their birthday today. I want to welcome Aiden's View.
I'm Aiden. I'm awesome.
I know you are. So, it's your birthday today. We both share a common interest, and I have a treat for you on your birthday.
Ooh, that sounds good.
We both love good old Garf, right?
Everybody loves Garfield. If you don't, then you're crazy.
I know, right? Anyway, we got a Garfield fanfiction lined up. And I don't know why, but every time I read a Garfield fanfiction, it's always good. Always good enjoyment for the whole family.
I know, it has everything. It has boobs, lasagna, and Garfield.
Yeah, let's begin. This is called Garfield Meets Joaquin Phoenix.
Is this going to be a Joker parody?
Yes.
I'm excited.
It just says Garfield right there. Okay, next paragraph. Joaquin Phoenix was in his Hollywood actor mansion reading the script for Joker. He was getting ready to finish his latest scene and needed to memorize all lines. Still, he thought of all the parts and wonders he would weave with his needles of acting next. He decided to look through more scripts for next project. The dancing men who sing in my head demand I look for more roles, said Joaquin Phoenix as he gripped scripts. I don't know a perfect voice for like Joaquin Phoenix. I can't even do a good Joaquin Phoenix impression.
Do you like your best Johnny Cash impression? Like a...
Love is a burning flame. Alright, he's Johnny Cash in this one. He looked in the mirror and screamed for 3 minutes. When his morning scream was over, he shoveled through more scripts like snowplow in a garbage dump. He flung trash scripts around the room like a hyena. Gone to insanity. What? You know what? I feel like this is purposeful.
I mean, yeah, that sounds about right, because he has to laugh a lot, you know?
No, like the bad grammar.
Oh, is there bad grammar?
Yeah, hyena gone to insanity. I don't think that's grammatically correct. Then his finger felt sensation. It was full of manliness and vigor. He felt strength filled his arm, yet it burned flesh like fire. He picked up the script that shocked him like jolts of wisdom. It shined like a newborn sun. It smelled like the first rose of June. It felt like a cooked eel? What?
A cooked eel's good smelling? It smells electric.
I don't know. Like I just always thought like eels were gross.
I want that slimy thing in my holes.
Nah, I wouldn't want that either. I just imagine that one Gorilla's Bite where Murdoch's like, he ain't feeling too good. He's feeling ill. Alright, we were reading a fanfiction. He looked upon the script of majesty and saw in writing that was majestic like royalty, yet rugged like a rock farmer. It read, Garfield.
Oh, well, this is a big twist. It's not Joker, it's Garfield.
He opened the script, and words poured into eyeballs like liquid wine. It was story like no other, filled with adventure of untold might, sexy ladies, and lasagna of beauty. He knew what he needed. He needed to play the role none other played. He had to play Garfield. Joaquin Phoenix then went to Upside Down Room, where he hung on bars and recited his name backwards. Afterwards, he grabbed the phone and called Agent. Listen here, you. The Song of Silence was sung to me this day and told me the role I needed. Joaquin Phoenix sang with Angel's voice. You know what? I was just doing like my Johnny Cash voice, so I think...
That was pretty good. I enjoyed that. I wish you could sing me to sleep every day.
Maybe.
You can do your death metal screeches in my ears while I sleep.
I should do like a Cannibal Corpse ASMR.
Yeah. Ooh, you could be the first like Cannibal Corpse like mukbang YouTube channel.
Oh, that'd be great. Yes, Mr. Joaquin Phoenix, that makes sense, said the agent with agreement. I am to be Garfield, screamed Joaquin Phoenix with shrill scream. You know what? He's just like very monotone, kind of like Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
What? You gone to crazy town! Cried the agent with panic. This world is built on pillars of madness. I am the only sane man left, Joaquin Phoenix said in serious tones. Listen to my voice and hear its words. That script is for no man. Forget it. Forget Garfield, said the agent with warning. But I cannot forget. His image is seared in eye of... What? His image is seared in eye of my mind. It bleeds for what I am not. Joaquin Phoenix screamed with agony as he clutched head and scratched eyes. Stop this! This road to madness and death. Focus on Joker. It will be a good movie that makes money and gets good reviews, advised the agent with wisdom to Garfield. Joker is duck trapped in mud, who quacks, but the quacks are not heard even by the trees. Joaquin Phoenix said with sorrow, "This is very poetic, I like this."
It's, yeah, definitely. It really gives me like who's that one really dark poet? What's his name?
Edgar Allan Poe?
Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe. I think Edgar Allan Poe might have made this, like, he might have been a genius. Like,
yeah, it was probably written by the South Park one, where, like, he comes back as a ghost, but he's, like, a moody teen.
Yeah. All I need is my black coffee and cigarette.
"There is only one Garfield. Leave these thoughts in the trash and be done with it," cautioned the agent. Joaquin Phoenix hung up and then stewed in regrets like turkey and gravy. Joaquin Phoenix went to his bedroom. Each wall was a giant picture of different stage of life cycle of a butterfly. Joaquin Phoenix stared at the wall that was larva and touched the picture with feeling fingertips. He then wrapped himself in a cocoon of sheets and slept in slumber dreams. Probably like how Peter Parker feels when he got like those weird sticky fingers.
Ooh, yeah, he felt that stick.
I remember there was a Jack Black parody, him doing the first Spider-Man, and right when it got to the part where like his hands were growing those sticky things, he was like, "My hands, they're getting awfully sticky." No change there. Sponsored by Jablinski.
No gaming videos this week, guys. I'm just gonna do another lasagna ASMR.
There he dreamt what he could want but not be. Clouds shaped like the man formed with orange fire, and pleasured ladies, while Joaquin Phoenix could only watch in envy and despair. Joaquin Phoenix woke and looked at the ceiling, which was like a funhouse mirror. He went to his dream journal under the last entry, which said, "If all light comes from orbs behind our eyes, then what is the sun?" and wrote, "My tongue is beast that tastes fire and lasagna." Oh, that sounds like that one Johnny Cash song. "My tongue is a beast of flames. That tastes of fire and lasagna."
I like how he has a dream journal as well. Like, what's that one, like, Disney XD movie or something where, like...
Oh, Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Yeah, Mr. Electric, he stole my dream journal.
I did not. Mr. Electric, send him to the principal's office and have him expelled. You are in my class, not the other way around. I have the worst George Lopez impression. At least I'm brave enough to admit that.
Man, I used to think George Lopez was so funny, but looking back, he would just say, like, the most bizarre things that weren't funny whatsoever.
He just had a big head, that's it.
I want, like, a screen cap and, like, set his Twitter profile picture that's, like, of him every time he's, like, a little kid and George Lopez related.
Oh my god, that was the most bizarre thing!
Yeah, I don't understand why they did that. It was, like, weird deepfake technology.
Joaquin Phoenix then did morning routine of putting on Depeche Mode, Dr. Strangelove at max volume, and singing along for an hour. He then got dressed and went to set for acting. He went to the set to meet the castmates. Joaquin Phoenix was talking to sexy co-star and hot and sexy script girl. He puffed up his chest and imagined what Garfield would say in the moment. "Hey there, sassy babies, you get my gears oiled up," said Joaquin Phoenix with clumsily flirty failure.
Oh, sounds more like Johnny Bravo.
Oh my god, yeah. "Oh, you are a pig," said sexy co-star with shunning. "Yeah, what loser, man. Go back to first grade," said hot and sexy script girl with mockery. Then, with suddenness, a dove flying from east in the morning, light of a revving engine was heard. Riding, like the man, was an orange figure of radiant masculinity, riding a custom Harley-Davidson motorcycle and smoking a lasagna cigarette.
Oh my god, I want a lasagna cigarette. That sounds awesome. This guy should really get into, like, writing, like, porn or something. Like, he's talking about how masculine people are and, like, hot, sexy lady number one.
Nah, ladies, they're a bit overrated, but Garfield, that's where it's at.
The masculinity of that lasagna cigarette.
"I heard there was casting call and that there were sexy ladies that needed to get their roles filled," said the orange figure of Olympian manhood. "Garfield!" cried the ladies and Joaquin Phoenix in unison. "That's right, Hot Pockets. I'm here to make you scream your lines and direct you in ways you never felt," said Garfield with smooth seduction. "Oh, Garfield," said the sexy co-star with swooning. "You are Man Mountain. I want to climb, but dare not try," said hot and sexy script girl with wanting worry. "I am Sherpa of Love. I will guide your lips and hips to where they are needed to be," Garfield said, snapping his fingers with manpower. Yo, Garfield's got all these one-liners. I love this. At Garfield's snapping command, fine ladies undressed, tearing off clothes in passionate moments. Garfield then snapped his fingers again, and stage hands brought out the king-size bed for the man.
Garfield's paws are literally just the Thanos glove. They just like snap off clothes.
I don't think like Thanos can be a competition for Garfield.
Honestly, yeah.
Well, at least this Garfield. This Garfield is true king.
He's always kind of been that way, right? But he's never been brought to his full potential until this genius writer really brought him to what his character really is.
Oh no, this like writer has amazing Garfield fanfiction, and he writes him as like the perfect male specimen.
He really brought Garfield back to his roots.
"Garfield here is our best bed. Please enjoy it and pleasure ladies with it," said the strange hands of humbleness. "I break this bed before night is through. No bed can handle power of my thrust," said Garfield with fact.
With fact.
Garfield's here to check your facts.
Just follow the sound of moaning and you'll find Garfield.
The ladies went to bed and lie down in poses of seduction, glistening with nakedness. They licked their lips with hungry pussycats. "Okay, kitty cats, I see your lady holes are desserts. I will flood them with liquid love and turn them into oceans," Garfield said with flirtations as he hopped off the motorcycle, and he never even got off the motorcycle.
He never even got off the motorcycle. He was, how do you even balance a motorcycle like that? He's just standing there like on that motorcycle.
Garfield went to bed and leaped on ladies on like grasshopper on fresh meat. He licked supple bodies with serpent tongue, pleasuring their outside and inside. Ladies moaned with pleasure as he tasted their insides. "Time to explode you inside and out. I carry TNT in my pants, and my fuse is ready to go," Garfield said with coy coolness. "Explode us, Garfield! Explode us with your man bomb!" the ladies cried in unison. Garfield unbuckled his stylish blue jeans and tossed them on the floor. He launched his orange javelin at ladies, scoring a banzai.
Initially, I imagined Garfield as being a Pompoko type character, like one of the raccoons where they just have like their balls hanging out, but now I imagine it like your interpretation, where he's just always shirtless with like 8 abs and like he just like is always holding his belt while riding a Harley.
The buffest man body, he's wearing denim jeans and a belt, and he's shirtless all the time.
Yeah, he knows his leather pretty well.
The director then walked in and saw the lovemaking. "This is work of art. I will film this and show the world and win Oscars," said the director with excitement as he took out big film camera and started recording. "Action! Action! Action!" cried out the director with furious joy as he watched Garfield through lens pleasure ladies with power of bulldozer and expertise of sculptor. Joaquin Phoenix watched on as well with awe, impressed, and terror. He scratched his eyes and rolled them around on the ground, grabbing mud and smothering himself with it. He screamed and squealed as he heard Garfield's lady pleasuring. He stood and staggered out like a drunk rodent, squealing in terror. No one cared. Joaquin Phoenix ran into the street that was empty. He ran about and around and in search for something which he knew not. His mind was filled with painful confusion. Then finally, he found an open store, 24/7 convenience store with selling intent. Joaquin Phoenix calmed himself with breaths and entered the store. Aisles upon rows were filled with items for selling, but none sold power to erase memories. He walked down the aisles to the counter where a cute girl of beauty sat. She had curly blonde hair and her name was Rosie Jane. "Hello, Rosie Jane. You are looking mighty fine. Beautiful today," said Joaquin Phoenix with compliments. "Whatever," said Rose Jane with dismissal. "Perhaps you would care to give me a pack of cigarettes and a date?" asked Joaquin Phoenix, words filled with nerves. "Whatever," said Rosie Jane, throwing a pack of cigarettes at him. Then, with suddenness of iceberg at the equator, there was a sound of rocking music Outside was Garfield in a red Corvette rocking to Big City Nights by Scorpions.
Joaquin just keeps on getting cucked by Garfield.
He was wearing aviator shades. He stepped off custom Harley-Davidson motorcycle and marched into the store. Oh, he's riding a Harley-Davidson motorcycle and a red Corvette at the same time. And he marched into the store. He walked down the frozen food section, and ice cream melted in presence of his manly aura. He went to the counter like man, who knew counters his whole life and did not care. He leaned on the counter with cool elbow and gave Rosie Jane a wink and nod. "Hey there, bunny slippers. I wanted to slide you on," said Garfield with flirting. Rosie Jane blushed with cheeks and fawned at massive molecule of manhood that ripped in front of her eyes like lake of fire. "Are you Garfield?" Rosie Jane asked with swooning. "You know it, Tootsie Pops." He just knows what to say. Oh my god.
Dude, he's like IQ 400 and like body is 400 out of 10.
"I got friend in pants and need mouth to mouth," said Garfield slyly, and he unzipped his black silk shimmering pants. "Friend of yours is friend of mine," said Rosie Jane with man-hungry smile.
This is like caveman talk and he's just pulling it off with like straight Chad.
"First thing is first, get me lasagna," demanded Garfield with righteousness. Rosie Jane nodded and ran to the lasagna section. When she returned, she brought with her a wagon of lasagna. "Now spread lasagna on the counter," commanded Garfield with orders. Rosie Jane obeyed and spread slimy red blobs of lasagna on the counter. Soon the counter was covered with sweet stench of lasagna. Joaquin Phoenix's nose and lips were wet with hunger at lasagna. He could never have. "That is more like it," said Garfield with satisfaction. "Now get naked and dance on lasagna," said Garfield with chill smile. Rosie Jane obeyed and took off her clothes, revealed hot tight body like Mako shark. She rolled around sexily on the counter like a sexy crocodile pulling down antelope and tearing it apart in the lasagna swamp. "Yeah, baby, that's what I am liking," said Garfield as he puffed a lasagna cigarette.
He's still on that same lasagna cigarette even after all this act.
"My desired dragon is hungry, and you are next course," said Garfield with romance. Bro, just these fucking one-liners are just making this whole fanfiction for me.
Garfield went balls in mouth. Yes, I'll do that for you.
He just knows what to say.
He's very bold and straightforward.
Take notes, everybody. Be like Garfield. "Eat me alive, Garfield. Pour love over me and lick me," said Rosie Jane with loving. Garfield jumped on Rosie Jane like flea on dog and squeezed firm body with grabbing hands. They rolled like swishing and swooshing on soft red lasagna, covering each other with slimy red goodness. Their bodies were damp like fogs covered in fresh blood. Soft squishing sound came from when they mushed bodies together with lovings. Joaquin Phoenix stared at the sight of majesty and wept. He put hands to face and wept like man who knew nothing but tears. He wept more, and then he screamed, and then he laughed. He covered his eyes with hands, but through hands he still saw Garfield and Rosie Jane lovemaking like a volcano loves the earth. Joaquin Phoenix crawled away in desperation, like Slug. He crawled into toothbrush aisle where toothbrush and toothpaste were and took big fat tube of toothpaste. He squirted toothpaste on the floor, in shape of woman. He collapsed on the toothpaste woman, wriggling and wraggling, trying to make love to toothpaste woman, but not able. For toothpaste woman was not woman at all, but just toothpaste. He cried again, licking toothpaste, then crawled out of the store. Joaquin Phoenix crawled into the Hollywood home, squealing like weasel, crawling onto broken glass. He came to the door and entered. He crawled to couch and flopped on like fish in ocean of dust. He wanted to forget all. He turned on the TV for nighttime entertainment. "Television, my friend. Grant me freedom. Do not betray me like all others." Joaquin Phoenix cried with whimper. Joaquin Phoenix turned to his window into the world of visual entertainment. Television flickered on, and TV host and suit bellowed in deep voice. "Hello all out there in TV land. Welcome to Hot Ladies, Heavy Metal, and Lasagna, America's most favorite game show. Here we have contestants," said TV host with voice of a siren. He pointed to hundreds of hot, sexy ladies, who all introduced themselves and their lives' ambitions, such as eating lasagna and finding a right good man to pleasure them. Joaquin Phoenix did not like this show, Hot Ladies, Heavy Metal, and Lasagna very much. He preferred awkward girls drinking soup to Genesis. I don't know why, but that game show is reminding me a lot of Brutal Legend.
Oh yeah. It'd be awesome if they had that.
Hot ladies, heavy metal, lasagna.
Yeah, I don't see why that isn't a show already. I mean, it has like a very vast community of people's like favorite thing in the world, like heavy ladies.
Heavy ladies? I mean, people do like heavy ladies.
I mean, people like heavy. I mean, I don't see a problem with that.
There is no problem with that at all.
And then hot lasagna.
Yeah, that's what it's missing. Brutal Legend was already a 10 out of 10 game, but it could have been a 15 out of 10 if it had lasagna.
Yeah, there was no scene where Garfield just instantly like snaps his fingers and makes all of the girls just lose their clothes. I'm gonna give it a light 10, maybe close 11, but nowhere close to Garfield Cart, the straight FMV of porn.
And now, of course, our one and only judge, the man himself, Garfield! Screamed the TV host with ecstatic excitement. You know what would have been funny if the TV announcer was John Arbuckle?
That would make so much sense. Oh my god, where's John Arbuckle in this film? Do you think Joaquin Phoenix is like a metaphor for John Arbuckle or something?
I would only give points off for not having John Arbuckle.
Yes, this is like very accurate to the source material.
But,
except for they forgot John Arbuckle.
Yeah, but it's just so good. I'm just gonna let it slide.
Yeah. I would have also appreciated a scene where Garfield has sex with Liz. Just like straight cucks John.
He pointed to a radiant figure who sat on a throne of silk and steel with legs crossed without effort. The figure drank brandy from wine glass and smoked lasagna cigarette. There it is again. He wore a suave vest and gator skin pants. He winked at the camera with coolness. That frozen space. First prize is, of course, Night with Garfield. That will change womanhood forever, said the TV host with information as his face went red with excitement. Now, begin the eating! Shrieked the TV host as his face dripped with sweat and eyes bulging from intensity. The ladies then began to eat lasagna with sensuality, licking lips and smothering bodies with steaming red sauce. Ladies were judged on quickness, sexiness, and expression on face, and firmness of body. You know what? Why are they not funding this? Why can't we have a show where it's a competition of people eating lasagna? I want this. Why are we not funding this?
Dude, lasagna is so heavy. That sounds really difficult, but I could probably do it.
That's why it's quite the challenge. That's why there's like steak competitions. Nah, that's nothing compared to lasagna.
Like eating hot dogs is just like slipping stuff into water and then just kind of like slipping it down your throat, right? But eating lasagna, there's like literal layers to it, right? Like you have the sauce, sometimes they have meat, and sometimes they have like cheese at the top, or like there's more strategy to it. Like very much lends itself to being a new sport in itself. I'm getting way too deep into it.
Yeah.
But it's getting there. I'm working on it now.
Garfield sat back and enjoyed show, sipping brandy and nodding with approval as hundreds of sexy ladies ate lasagna for his pleasure. As sexy ladies ate their lasagna, camera zoomed in, and rockin' heavy metal played, with shredding guitars and rockin' vocals. Scorpions and Dio played as hot visions of womanhood feasted of lasagna nutrition. God damn it. Why isn't this show real? This show better be real. People eating lasagna and having Dio playing. Please, I want this.
Did you write this? I really feel like you wrote this. This screams everything random here.
They knew their audience because they know I'm the only one who reads these Garfield fanfictions.
Yeah, for school, every time I write an essay, it's like important to like, they're always like, don't remember who's your audience, right? Well, this person like nailed that part of it, right? They're like, okay, my audience is obviously random here. It's gotta have metal, lasagna, Garfield, and boobies, and they nailed every part of it.
I just need those three things: just metal, lasagna, and Garfield. That's it.
That's what you need to sustain your life on.
That's all I need. Camera zoomed on mouths filled with red, wet lasagna for sexy effects. Sauce and cheese dripped down lips, turning on everyone's engines. Some ladies began dancing around guitar and drum set. Garfield smirked with approval. I'm just imagining Garfield on this giant throne, just like sitting there nodding his head to all this. It's so great.
I imagine it's like kind of like a Grinch smile, like, oh, I know that Joaquin Phoenix is watching.
Now, it is time to select the winner, declared the TV host. The camera zoomed into Garfield's chiseled face. His eyes were cold with thought like frozen lakes. His lips open and mouth moved. I think I am winner, and when I win, all ladies win. Come on, my chicken patties, follow me to the bedroom playpen. I have never heard someone calling a woman a chicken patty. That is the greatest thing I have ever heard in my life.
You are but a pawn in my game of lasagna, chicken patty.
All ladies applaud, and at the wise decision, TV host nearly fainted at fairness of Garfield's decree. Army of scantily clad ladies.
Scantily clad ladies.
Followed Garfield up red-carpeted staircase to his bedroom, and cameras follow ready to capture all the action for the world to see. Golden doors opened, and the man entered the bedroom. The floor was covered with bear and tiger carpets, engaged in eternal struggle, and walls and ceiling were mirrors. Time to give you ladies first prize. It is gift that keeps on giving, the undenying flame of my manhood, Garfield said as he unzipped his leopard pants to unseal the beast that never sleeps.
The pants keep on changing. First they were like jeans, then leather, then silk, now they're like leopard pants.
Garfield doesn't wear any clothes but like pants.
Yeah, you think he like changes his pants every time?
Yeah.
He knows who he's up against next.
Garfield jumped into lady pile and thrust his pleasure pike into yawning mouths and women craters, making them scream with glee. Garfield and ladies became one, molding into massive liquid, love, and fleshy meat. Time to spice it up, Garfield said as he pulled a hidden rope. At rope pulling hidden buckets, spilling lasagna into love fest, making hot sweaty mass of red. Figures caked in lasagna like flame shadows danced and writhed into each other, squishing and squashing, and making hot sexy love. Reflections on mirror distorted and made illusions of prismatic glory, and scene was too much for Joaquin Phoenix's mad mind to take. "No more!" cried out Joaquin Phoenix as he tried to turn off TV with remote. But TV would not answer his cries, and its screen was wide with smile as it laughed with silent mockery. The moans of Garfield's explosion of erotic ecstasy echoed from TV like squeals of ghost pigs rolling in mud in midnight hour. Joaquin Phoenix took TV in fit of rage and tossed it against the wall, but he still saw images of Garfield making sexy, sweet sweat love to ladies while covered in wet blanket of lasagna. He collapsed on the floor and crawled into bed, hoping he would escape waking nightmare in slumber dreams. This reminds me of the whole incel versus Chad meme, while Joaquin's the virgin gamer and Garfield's the Chad.
Yeah, what would be the traits of Joaquin?
He's a gamer. He's not Garfield, that's it.
He's just not yeah, that makes sense.
He's just not Garfield. Joaquin Phoenix fell into sleep, and darkness swam through mind. He descended into endless abyss, still laying on bed, but surrounded by quickening darkness. Black curtains parted, and sea of red spread into endlessness. He floated in bed on red sea that chummed like a witch pot. Joaquin Phoenix saw a great monster fish emerge from red depths, with head shaped like his fears, and body made of his regrets. It opened mouth, and each tooth was a lost love. A sea monster crashed into the bed, sending Joaquin Phoenix into waiting ocean. Joaquin Phoenix flailed in red liquid, like guppy and bubble, and formless arm pulling him under into red depths. Unseen arm pulled down and down until ocean was gone and he was in room. A white room splattered with red and bodies were scattered like beached seals. He looked over bodies, but faces were blank except one. Body was laying with arms and legs spread like starfish. Face stared up, eyes wide open in revelation. His face was frozen in smile, and the face was familiar. It was his face. He then felt feeling into his hand. He realized in right hand he gripped Desert Eagle.
What is this primitive voice? 1 second, it is as Garfield took off his gnarly pants and stuff like that. The next it's Joaquin face, scared, crack and fall on couch. There's definitely a changing tone, and I think the writer really intended for that. I don't mean to overanalyze or anything, but it's whoever wrote this obviously knew what they were talking about.
Yes.
That was a very central yes.
He looked at the wall in front of him and saw it was mirror. In mirror, a manly orange face stared back at him with eyes of stoic lasagna. He screamed, and walls blew away, and floor sank into nothingness, and Joaquin Phoenix was standing in desert of red. Sand of ruby diamonds sparkled under feet. Rain by The Cult started playing, music rocking from black desert sky. He stumbled forward into a red wasteland, sand blistering feet like newly cooked lasagna. He stumbled into endless desert, throat screaming for drink and stomach begging for food. But it was hunger in heart and thirst of soul and carried him on. Dune shifted like sails, and sand moved like living blood. Time froze and sped. Days melted into seconds, and minutes 8 hours. Finally, in distance, Joaquin Phoenix saw Spike-like stick from Desert Stand. He went to Spike and saw it was Grand Pyramid that stabbed the sky until it begged. Entrance opened in front of black shadows calling for entrance to those who dared.
This was just a casting call.
Joaquin Phoenix staggered into entrance feeling the coolness of breeze pinch face like ice crab. Halls stretched forward into unseeing blackness. Torches flickered like baby fireflies with guiding intent. Joaquin Phoenix followed the path of flickering torches and came to a great chamber with paintings on wall. Paintings of Garfield and scenes of heroism. One painting was Garfield battling mechanical menace in deepness of space. Other painting was Garfield saving lovely princesses from evil princes. Another painting showed Garfield saving Christmas from the forces of darkness. And others still showed Garfield delivering justice to Nazis and red coats in the name of America.
He has been Chad since 2 BC.
I know, right? Like, Garfield is the embodiment of the American dream right here.
Exactly. He's lived through it, man. He knows the American dream. He probably wrote the Constitution.
No, he was the influence for the Constitution.
Yeah, they just looked at him and they didn't have to look at the paper. Their hands were just guided by his aura of sexiness. George Washington caressed Garfield's luxurious orange, fiery fur.
I am Phoenix. I will be reborn. Joaquin Phoenix said with heart-heavy mind as he leaped into flaming fire. Joaquin Phoenix opened eyes and stared at the funhouse mirror at ceiling, but reflection was straight and pristine like badger fresh from morning breakfast. His bed was swamp of cold sweat. His heart was dry with purpose. He stood up with bare feet and marched to bedroom made of marble. In bathroom, he stared at mirror and scoffed with mockery at face that he stared back. He clenched fists and smashed into mirror, shattering into shards and soared to the ground like crystal balls. He took one large shard with clenched fist blood dripping from palm. He stared into cracked remains of mirror and took shared to face and slashed it with determination and ferocity. He slashed his feeble face until he saw in mirror resemblance to chiseled face of masculine perfection. That was Garfield. He then took off cotton shirt that was wet with sweat and dirty with guilt to reveal pathetic flabby stomach. Joaquin Phoenix scowled with scorn and took glass in hand. He slashed on stomach in pattern to imitate Garfield's stone six-pack. His stone cold six-pack.
Means Chad.
Joaquin Phoenix then took a can of orange spray paint hidden under sink and dumped it on bleeding body, smearing orange paint all over his self mixing with fresh and drying blood. He put finger covered in paint and blood and mouth and sucked like baby seal on pacifier of ice. He flexed and admired body dripping in orange and red. He then heard the phone ring from bedroom and returned drops of red and orange following footsteps. He picked up the phone with sternness. All fear was gone, and dead to dust. Joaquin Phoenix, this is your agent. You must go on Jimmy Kimmel, Funny Man TV show host. For interview, said agent with demands. Joaquin Phoenix is dead. Garfield killed him. Joaquin Phoenix said with coldness. He then smashed phone on table with mighty crunch. Time to put Kimmel in kennel. Joaquin Phoenix quipped with slyness. You know, if Garfield said this, he probably would have had something better to say, but nah, that was kind of lame.
Yeah, as much as Joaquin wants to be Garfield, I think he's gonna have to work a lot harder.
You don't think it, you live it.
You're a Chad without thinking. Mm-hmm. That is how Garfield Chad works.
Joaquin Phoenix quipped with slyness. He went to bedroom and reached under bed to take out case. In case was special cap gun, gleaming silver. My trusty Desert Eagle, you never failed me. Let us cook some Kimmel and feed it to the dogs. In hell, Joaquin Phoenix said with menace. Joaquin Phoenix drove to Kimmel Studios in orange Corolla that needed gas. You just gotta add that. But I feel like it's important. Like, he's trying to be like Garfield, but he's still quite pathetic.
There's like stages to it, and the writer probably knew what he was doing. Like, he was probably in the mindset of Garfield. Like, he just wrote, he didn't think.
He parked front and walked in with determined feet. In studio was Jimmy Kimmel. By desk sitting on chair, and studio audience sitting in audience chairs for viewing pleasure. In audience was sweaty fat man who tired of weight and felt world's burdens on his shoulders as he watched the funny man Kimmel's stupid face. Audience gasped with shock at Joaquin Phoenix stumbled in like drunk bumbler droplets of drying blood and orange paint sputtering to floor in crusty globs. He wore brown cotton pants with turtle shell codpiece. Other guests sitting on the couch were Margot Robbie, celebrity. Scarlett Johansson, celebrity. Jennifer Lawrence, celebrity. Oh, I know where this is going. Do you think Garfield's gonna come in and like cuck him again?
Maybe they'll have like a battle of Garfields or something like.
I think everyone's gonna be like, yeah, you're not Garfield.
Yeah.
They sat wearing sexy dresses and everyone enjoyed. Joaquin Phoenix strode like lopping leaper into couch with eyes like frozen steel and sat nearest to Jimmy Kimmel, who put on his funny man face. The sweaty fat man in back row was filled with confusion. His stomach roiled with contempt, and sweaty fat face twisted and scowled. What does Jimmy Kimmel sound like? Hold on. You're looking unusual today, Joaquin Phoenix. Did you cut yourself while checking oven? Joked Jimmy Kimmel with joke that can only make idiot or madman laugh. Audience sat in silence, and sweaty fat man bit lip in disgust. Joaquin Phoenix is dead. I killed him, for I am mighty Garfield, said Joaquin Phoenix as his stare stabbed into Jimmy Kimmel's empty eyes like spear. Jimmy Kimmel looked at the audience with uncomfortable eyes and laughed with fakery. Oh, you are the kidder!
Reenact the ending of Joker. I feel like that's gonna reenact the ending of Joker.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You know what? I just see this coming a mile away.
It was never like led up like the actual Joker movie that he enjoyed Kimmel, but it's here. It's gotta be here, man. It's gotta be here. He's gotta like kill him with like a lasagna rifle or something.
Oh, you are the kidder. If you are Garfield, I am handsome roast beef, said Jimmy Kimmel with funny man words. Ladies on couch chuckled, but Joaquin Phoenix sat like a sphinx, silent and proud. Finally, after eons that felt like days, Joaquin Phoenix's lips smoothed like wet worms, and words oozed out like pus. You speak language of fools, understand by kings and jackals, Joaquin Phoenix said with vile. Jimmy Kimmel shook head with confusion and grinned stupid grin. I have a feeling this author doesn't like Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna like obliterate his skull or something.
He made funny noises in effort to make humor King Jackal with man's head, Joaquin Phoenix said with ponderousness. Jimmy Kimmel said nothing, but put on a funny face to try to lighten the mood. He stuck out tongue and pouted cheeks. The sweaty fat man looked on in disgusted rage. The sweat drops poured out of face. Joaquin Phoenix looked at audience and saw the sweaty fat man. Their eyes locked like lasers. Joaquin Phoenix stared into fat, sweaty drops that poured from the sweaty fat man like waterfall. He saw that each sweaty drop contained the universe.
Is Joaquin Phoenix the fat man, or is like Peter Griffin in the audience or something like that?
Nah, Peter Griffin is in the audience. Joaquin Phoenix is having a stare down with him. Their necks were tentacles that coiled and wrapped in embrace, scaly skin rubbing against one another, making scraping noises. Enough! Cried out Joaquin Phoenix in angry gamer rage. Okay, I didn't say gamer, that was just me adding that. I will take sexy ladies with me. We will make hard-style love-making. What nonsense are you speaking? Said Jimmy Kimmel with shock. Joaquin Phoenix saw that his pig head now split open down the center, and Mantis sat on top picking at an eating brain with sickles. But still, he laughed and squealed. I am taking ladies, and we will eat lasagna and make love like powerful titans, Joaquin Phoenix said with determination. He saw the Scarlett Johansson head and Jennifer Lawrence heads sharing luscious green apple in their jaws, chomping and chewing and licking, their tongues wrapped around apple and end each other. The Margot Robbie head lay on satin pillow, dreaming nightmares that he could only not stop seeing. Joaquin Phoenix pulled out cap gun and pointed at Jimmy Kimmel. Do not interfere with my plans, Joaquin Phoenix screeched like unwise owl. He snatched the lady creatures by the arms and dragged with him out to the orange Corolla. Lady's head hissed, and laughed as they were dragged into Corolla. "I will show you majesty of my love palace," Joaquin Phoenix said with hysteria. Sexy lady beasts screeched and hissed in sultry sexuality. Joaquin Phoenix thrust key with power into car to command it action. It did not move, but Joaquin Phoenix heard voice purr from engine. "Joaquin Phoenix, where would you like to be going?" "I would recommend the beach," said Orange Corolla in gentle purring voice like kitten massaged by feather. "No! Go home!" squealed Joaquin Phoenix like spoiled puppy. "I think we should go to the beach," insisted Orange Corolla with voice like velvet sword. "Yes! Let's go to the beach," chimed Jennifer Lawrence, Margot Robbie, and Scarlett Johansson, heads in unison. Their heads switched. "No, go to home," commanded Joaquin Phoenix with tantrum. "You will regret this decision," said Orange Corolla with sadness. Orange Corolla drove them to city that seemed to melt and burn. Sky was black with fire that made Joaquin Phoenix sweat like schoolboy locked in coffin. His car purred and moaned like cat in love.
A schoolboy locked in coffin?
I don't know. Maybe they're supposed to say locker or something, but I don't know. I'm not questioning it.
I'm not questioning it. It makes sense to me.
Finally, they reached the house, which now looked 40 stories tall. It was grand palace filled for real men. Joaquin Phoenix stepped with feet and moved like man who walked like professional. He took ladies into grand palace and filled with gold and lasagna. Halls twisted and turned, and ceilings were high as sky. Rivers of lasagna flowed through the halls, and lasagna waterfalls fell from gilded walls.
Do you remember in Brutal Legend, the Sea of Black Tea? So people don't know who that is. It's like in the story, it's like a sea of black sea, right? And if you go in, you come out like pretty much evil. You think that this is like the same thing, like a lasagna river?
Nah, but if you go in the lasagna river, you become as Chad as Garfield.
Yeah, you just come out as a Chad.
Joaquin Phoenix led Lady Beast into main hall, chest puffed and head high like kite. At center of main room was massive bed shaped like male symbol. In that head of bed, on marble pedestal, was great statue of the man Garfield in post of manly splendor. Fist clenched, justice oozing through fingers like sea slug. Joaquin Phoenix's eyes teared at the sight of the manly statue, and he knelt on one knee. "I am you. I am Garfield," he cried to heavens, with voice trembling with ghosts of dying hope. Then suddenly the statue trembled and shook. It cracked and crumbled, and gray shattered to reveal manly orange. Garfield flexed mighty muscles, and statue bits exploded off like stars bursting from planets. Garfield stepped off the pedestal and went on floor. Joaquin Phoenix looked up in awe. He saw at his palace was no longer a palace of gold and lasagna, but again, a filthy home of viceful desight. He saw that three-headed lady monster was now again a sexy actress of beauty, who looked with eyes like lustful saucers at Garfield. And bed of manly majesty was again barren mattress stained with regret. "But I am you. I am Garfield!" Joaquin Phoenix cried with disbelief. Garfield shook mighty head that was like sun shaking moon. "But I did all. I have ladies and lasagna. Look at my majesty!" yelped Joaquin Phoenix with pathetic. Garfield's eyes burned with glow of manly knowledge, and he shook mighty head again. "The measure of man is not ladies he loves, or lasagna he eats, but justice he dispenses. Remember this as your soul explodes to hell," Garfield said with wisdom greater than all scholars. "I see now," Joaquin Phoenix said, eyes filled with tears that cried tears of their own. Garfield stared in Joaquin Phoenix's watery eyes, and his eyes burned with fire hotter than lasagna sun. The eye fire seared into Joaquin Phoenix's soul and exploded like Thanksgiving Day fireworks. The last thing Joaquin Phoenix's eyes saw was Garfield making love like tractor-trailer to hot sexy actresses on his bed. He saw Garfield drive his man-might into waiting ladies like golf cart being driven into sand, with roughness and with sensual sexuality. Joaquin Phoenix saw Garfield pleasure ladies, and he smiled and gave thumbs up as the soul exploded into fiery oblivion. The end.
That was amazing. I loved that.
Oh wait, there's like 3 author's notes.
What are the author's notes?
Here's the first one. If Joaquin Phoenix is reading this and wants to make a movie out of my story, that would be okay. Author's note 2. If Jennifer Lawrence, Margot Robbie, and Scarlett Johansson are reading this and would like to go on a date with me, that would be okay. Author's note 3. If Jimmy Kimmel is reading this and would like to invite me on a show, that would be okay.
That would be okay.
Listen, Joaquin Phoenix, Jennifer Lawrence, Margot Robbie, Scarlett Johansson, Jimmy Kimmel. You're missing out on some great
Jim
literature
Davis.
right here.
Jim Davis.
Jim Davis too. You're missing out. Just, oh my god. I can't get over how much of a chat he was in this, and I want more of this.
He just goes to a 7-Eleven, and then they have like lasagna pretty much prepared, like a whole like wagon full of lasagna prepared for him. I mean, I can't believe how Chad of a move that was. Like,
I know.
Like, make me an entire lasagna, put it in a wagon. Let's get down to business. Take off your pants. Get in the wagon. You know, like.
I'm looking at this author's like other stories. They're all Garfield.
Yeah, maybe it's like a Garfield extended universe, like Marvel.
We got Garfield Land. It's like La La Land, but Garfield. Garfield Mass Effect. That's amazing. The Garfield Bowl. The Garfield Story. Oh, A Christmas Story about with Garfield. Anyway, I should like go back to this author one day.
Yeah. You should let me back on next time you do.
Yeah, I gotta do more Garfield. Anyway, this has been Fic of the Week. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.